Monday night, beginning at 7 p.m. We call this meeting to order. Trustee Twitchell.
Here.
Trustee Esperson.
Here.
Trustee Brockler.
Here.
Trustee Syracuse.
Here.
Trustee Wendell.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have an approval of minutes, please?
Whereas members of this board have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of April 15th, now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
I second this.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Correspondence.
Correspondence dated April 22nd, 2024 was received from Lauren Boyle, President of Embrace Fredonia, requesting the use of the tourist information booth on May 31st through June 2nd, 2024 for the annual Attic and Cellar Days.
Be it resolved that the request from Lauren Boyle to use the tourist information booth and various streets in a 20-mile radius surrounding the village from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 31st and June 1st, and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on June 2nd, 2024 for the annual Attic and Cellar Days is hereby approved, and be it further resolved that the Fredonia Police Department reserves the parking spots in front of the visitors booth for participants.
Second.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
And Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Thank you. I will mention, as I just bypass this, is that per our instructions from our attorneys, based on the current lawsuit that we foresee and the delays that we've gone through, we will be in court next week. Once that there's a decision there, we will return back to the public comment portion of our meetings. Mayor's report. On Wednesday, April 17th, the village officials played host to the New York Department of Environmental Conservation for a tour of our treatment plant and dam. Officials discussed numerous options for the dam and the spillway. On Thursday, April 18th, we met with officials of Festival Fredonia to discuss this year's events and attended the kickoff of our county's newest marketing project, Live CHQ, which we held at the Opera House. On Friday, April 19th, we met with Bolani Associates of Buffalo to discuss potential business opportunities that may take place in the village. And on Saturday, April 20th, I presented a proclamation in Chautauqua County's newest Eagle Scout, Fredonia's Isaac Gilbert. The presentation was held at the Fredonia American Legion Post. The Scouts are a tremendous organization, and Isaac is a great example of commitment. Only 2% of all Scouts in the world achieve Eagle status, so congratulations to him. On the same day, we presented a proclamation for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life held inside Steele Hall at Fredonia State University. Students continue to produce events in support of the fight against cancer throughout the year. On Tuesday, the 23rd, we had the opportunity to meet with leadership of the Fredonia Planning Board, discuss topics on their agenda. We will be revisiting and continually updating the long-range plan with this wonderful group of citizens. We thank them for their commitment toward the stability and growth of our village. On Wednesday, the 24th, Legislator Susan Parker, Scott Marsh of the DPW, Police Chief David Price, Trustee Syracuse attended a meeting with officials from the Department of Transportation to discuss the upcoming renovations on Route 60, which should begin sometime after January.
Route 20.
Pardon?
Route 20.
Route 20. Thank you. Typographical error there. Later that evening, we held a tax cap and budget hearing that was open to the public for their comments on the final changes to this year's offerings. Friday, April 26th, another busy day, as we attended the Arbor Day celebration presented by local businessman Ben Kravitz and his family and crew. At Kravitz Tree Service, hundreds of new seedlings were given away for replanting. Tours of the facility and their equipment were available. Mr. Kravitz is also a member of the Fredonia Police Department. I see he's here tonight as well. So thank you for your service to the community. Later that day, we presented donations from our collection to the Boys and Girls Club Gala at Shorewood Country Club before holding a public meeting here at the Village Hall to introduce local business leaders and owners to the 2024 New York Main Street Grant. Trustee Esperson and I joined members of Labella Associates who shared the details and application process. Applications are still available online with the submission deadline of May 17th for consideration. And earlier today, I was met by student writers from Fredonia State's newspaper, The Leader, to speak about today's rally in support of additional funding for Fredonia State, as well as water and budget issues for the students and faculty. And then finally, we were joined with county executive, as well as several other dignitaries to speak in support of continued funding and more funding for New York State, Fredonia, from New York State for Fredonia State University. Members of the student body, the general public, as well as members of UUP, the United University Professions Group, were all in full attendance for the rally and appreciated the support. And that is the mayor's report for April 29th, 2024. Trustee committee reports.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Esperson.
Yeah, we attended the Volunteer Fire Department Executive Board meeting, got an update on the merger, memorial project that they have planned. Hopefully that will be finished and ready to be unveiled in September. And we also discussed recruitment, some ideas they had, and we'll continue to work with them to work on recruitment. I had an opportunity to meet with Scott Marsh to talk about the meters potentially to be placed at the fire hall and the DPW, just to see if there is any, or the amount of water that's used at those two facilities, to see if that makes an impact or a great impact on the amount of water that is unaccounted for. And we'll be talking about that at the next workshop. And that's all I have.
Go ahead, Trustee Syracuse, I'm sorry.
That's okay. This week met with the state DOT. They will be attending our next board meeting to discuss what their plan is for our Main Street corridor. Through the committee with Susan Parker, we were able to have some input, but obviously it's a state highway, so anything and everything is their, they have the final say and it's their call. But they've definitely taken our feedback back to the state and their planners, and they're implementing some good stuff. Water Street, we have formed a committee for the crosswalk art. We'll be meeting sometime in the next couple of weeks for our first meeting, so there'll be more information forthcoming for anybody who wants to participate in submitting some artwork for that. That's all I have.
Trustee Twitchell.
Yes, I did meet with the Library Museum Board, and they were happy to announce they do have Wi-Fi now that's available to the public in Barker Commons. And you can stop by the library to get the password. They were able to update their Wi-Fi, so I think a lot of people will be enjoying that if they can listen to music or read books or whatever, on the internet in Barker Commons. And also, they alerted me about the hole in the roof. We don't know really if it's a hole, if the water's coming underneath the shingles in the library. I've spoken to the mayor about it, and we're going to have somebody come and take a look at it to see what can be done, because the water is coming in, when it's pouring, it's coming in pretty bad at a steady rate. So we really do want to fix that. And I did want to mention that I am not in favor of passing this budget. I did bring up several items that we could be looking at to reduce the budget even further. So I just wanted to let the public know that I won't be voting on the budget tonight. Thank you.
Trustee Wandel.
Also attended the meeting with Trustee Syracuse here on the Route 20 project. Went great. They did accept our feedback, so I think we have a very positive effort going forward. So looking forward to that. Potential construction could begin about 1 year from now. That's it.
Thank you. I do want to remind everybody that the village does own both the library and the museum, correct? So we
That's
are
correct.
responsible for the roof, We've done roof repairs. We just did some roof repairs during the
Yes.
winter, and we'll address this as quickly as possible using local folks as well. Treasurer's report. Thank you, trustees, for your report. Treasurer's report.
I just have, I worked with Tom Becker today from the USDA to apply for the grant for the loader and the plow truck, which will be submitted by the end of this week.
Thank you. And there are no additional reports, correct?
No.
Resolutions.
Whereas according to New York State's property tax cap legislation, if a village government decides to adopt a budget with a property tax levy that exceeds the level set by the state, the village government must pass a local law to override that cap. And whereas adopting said local law is not predicative of the final tax levy, but will provide the Village of Fredonia Board flexibility to exceed the property tax cap if it is deemed necessary, and to ensure that any state recalculation of the applicable limit will not make the village inadvertently out of compliance. And whereas a public hearing was held before the Village of Fredonia Board on April 24th at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested in proposed local law number 2 of 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that local law number 2 of 2024, local law to override the 2024-2025 tax cap limit, is hereby adopted pursuant to subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law, section 3-C, which expressly authorizes the Village of Fredonia Board to override the tax levy limit by the adoption of a local law approved by the adoption of a local law approved by vote of 60% of the Village of Fredonia Board. Be it further resolved that the Village of Fredonia clerk shall publish in the official newspaper of the village a notice of adoption containing a synopsis of said local law, and shall within 20 days file one certified copy in the clerk's office and with the Secretary of State.
Second.
Trustee Twitchell.
Nay.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Wandell.
Aye.
Whereas the village previously created a reserve fund policy for its general fund of 15 to 25%, and whereas the upcoming 2024-2025 fiscal year requires that the village's general fund reserve balance to go below the policy amount, therefore be it resolved, the village board hereby authorizes to reduce the general fund balance policy to 10 to 25% for the upcoming fiscal year. This will be reviewed thereafter on an annual basis.
Second?
Trustee Twitchell.
Nay.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Wandell.
Aye.
A resolution levying the total taxes and other charges extended and levied against each parcel of real property shown on a roll prepared and verified by the assessors for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it resolved that there be levied and assessed against the real property of the Village of Fredonia the following sums for village government and other charges for the fiscal year 24-25 at a tax rate of 39.25 per thousand assessed valuation. Total taxes for current budget, $3,151,638. Delinquent water rents and charges, $91,701.38. Delinquent sewer rents and charges, $97,297.18. Total real property taxes and other charges on the roll, $3,340,636.56. And be further resolved that the receiver of taxes be and is hereby directed to levy, assess, and apportion upon the real and personal property liable to taxation in the Village of Fredonia a tax rate of 39.25 per $1,000 of valuation upon said assessment roll. Be further resolved that the warrant to the tax receiver be executed and delivered to the tax receiver for the collection of unpaid taxes and assessments, water, sewer rentals, outstanding and unpaid, together with interest and penalties as approved by law. And be further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute a warrant to the receiver of taxes, which warrant shall also be endorsed by the Board of Trustees as required by law. Be further resolved that the village clerk is hereby authorized to deliver said warrant to the receiver of taxes as required by law.
I second this.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell.
Nay.
Trustee Wandell.
Aye. A resolution adopting a budget for the fiscal year commencing June 1, 2024 and ending May 31, 2025, making appropriations for the conduct of village government and establishing the rates of compensation for officers and employees for such period. Whereas this board has met at the time and place specified in the notice of public hearing on the tentative budget and heard all persons desiring to be heard thereon. Now therefore be it resolved that a tentative budget as amended and revised and as attached hereto made a part thereof is hereby adopted, and that several amounts stated in the column titled Adopted in Schedules 1A, 2A, 2F, 2G, and 3C, together with the amounts set forth in Schedule C, Debt Schedule, as required for the payment of principal and of interest in indebtedness by and they hereby are appropriated for the objects and for the purpose specified, and the salaries and wages stated in Schedule 6 of such budget shall be and are hereby fixed at the amount shown therein effective June 1, 2024.
Second.
Trustee Twitchell.
Nay.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Be it resolved that upon recommendation of Kayla Sullivan, Director of Fredonia Pomfret Recreation Department, that Angela McCoyak, Cushing Street, is hereby appointed to a seasonal position for the 2024 summer recreation programs, effective immediately at the rate of $20 an hour, not to exceed 300 hours.
I second this.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
We do have walk-on resolutions for today, April 29th, 2024. Mr. Brockler.
Be it resolved that pursuant to Section 5520 of Village Law, the attached budget resolutions, transfers are hereby approved. And everybody got a copy of that, right, if they wanted?
Oh, they did, but if you want to read it, Trustee Brockler, that's a good idea tonight.
All right,
Yeah.
then $50,000 from A8029 general fund balance to A3410.1 fire personnel. $50,000 from A8029 general fund balance to A4540.1 ambulance personnel. $10,000 from A8029 general fund balance to A3410.11 fire personnel overtime. $10,000 from A8029 general fund balance to A4540.11 ambulance personnel overtime. $2,000 from A4540.44 ambulance contractual to A3410.44 fire contractual. $400 from A3410.47 fire gasoline to A3410.44 fire contractual. $100 from A4540.41 ambulance supplies to A3410.44 fire contractual. $800 from A3410.43 fire travel training to A3410.42 fire utilities. $2,400 from A4540.47 ambulance gasoline to A3410.42 fire utilities. And $1,000 from A4540.49 ambulance maintenance equipment to A3410.42 fire utilities.
I second this.
Trustee Twitchell.
Because this is a walk-on and I didn't get a chance to review it until right now, set before me, I'm going to vote nay on it.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Whereas the village requires a service maintenance contract for 26 valves at the filtration plant, and whereas Upstate Valve and Control Fairhaven, New York has offered to provide a maintenance contract to include inspections, leak detection, O-ring replacement, configuration tests, functional tests, and corrective maintenance for a per-visit price of $8,880. And whereas this contract is necessary for the village's purpose to maintain the equipment processing the water for the village, therefore be it resolved, the village board hereby authorizes entering into the maintenance agreement for 1 year with Upstate Valve and Control for $8,880.
Second?
Trustee Twitchell.
Again, this was a walk-on resolution. I'm just seeing it now. I know this work does need to be done. And I do understand the procedure with this one, so I will vote yay on this one.
Thank you. Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse?
Aye.
Trustee Wendell?
Aye.
Is there any reason to go into executive session from the board? If not, ask for a motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockman?
Aye.
Trustee Syracuse?
Aye.
Trustee Wendell?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next meeting of the village workshop will take place Wednesday, May 8th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the trustee room, second floor, Village Hall. The next Village of Fredonia board meeting will take place on Monday, May 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the trustee room, second floor, Village Hall. Thank you. We'll let people who live within the village, we let speak for 2 meetings now. People outside the village don't have a say. It was already done, man, and you're here. There is not a next one for the budget. You'll be able to speak at the next meeting. As soon as we get, the public can speak as soon as we get done with the court. As I mentioned at the beginning, the court, the lawsuit prevents us from talking. No, you're not allowed to split up the issues. Ma'am, this meeting's for village residents, which you are not one. We haven't been had every pay. We did not raise our pay. We've never raised our pay. It's the second time. Yes, I did.